Do you know that in the Bible there is a romantic book? True. This book was written by Solomon. And the title of this book is Song of Songs. Romance is part of the Bible, believe it or not. Today we are talking about intimacy, and of course, romance is part of that. You know, this book, Song of Songs, is a collection of sentences of passion, romance, and poetry between a man and a woman in love with each other. The scripture tells us about the creation of Adam and Eve. Nature tells us very clearly that all the species are exactly male and female. And that is how you can see the reproduction, correct? Well, this book talks about passion, talks about romance, but it's very poetic. If you see a painting, the artist had invested time trying to put an emphasis in something in particular that he wants or she wants to present in that painting. Poetry is the same thing. There are emphasis in words and symbolisms, which is that the writer, wants to deliver to the reader. For example, here, when he says, "You are like a lily among thorns," that tells you how beautiful he finds her, right? And listen to the response. "You are an apple tree among the wild trees in the forest." It's very poetic. You know, poetry some people consider is silly because they say, well, of course, if you see a field where there is a lot of thorns and there is just one flower, you obviously will pick the flower. And if you are in a forest with wild trees, naturally you will pick the apple tree. It's where you're going to get the fruit. And remember, apples are sweet. People can tell jokes about poetry, and they probably don't necessarily go along with the story, with the poems, with the way that things are written down. But there are meanings behind those things. And the thing is, in this book that I suggest you to read it, in fact, there is something that you can do with this book, Song of Songs, that you will find very interesting.